Look, there's a massive, kind of dangerous misconception sweeping through the insurance industry right now. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking why treating IT security and user experience compliance like they're the exact same thing is a huge, costly mistake. Because, well, they aren't. And getting this wrong, it can completely tank your organization's reputation and customer trust. We're going to look specifically at how insurers are interpreting two recent mandates, the IRDAI Cybersecurity Circular and the IRDAI Dark Pattern Compliance Circular. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the digital compliance mistake, then move into demystifying the cybersecurity circular, followed by understanding dark pattern compliance. After that, we'll cover why insurers need both, and finally wrap up with 5 steps to compliance.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the digital compliance mistake.
So a lot of organizations tend to just toss these two new IRDAI circulars over to a single team under this super vague umbrella of digital compliance. Since both deal with digital platforms, executives just kind of assume they overlap, right? But let's look at a practical scenario. Picture this. You're launching a brand new online health insurance portal. Your IT team completely hardens the cloud infrastructure, and it passes every single vulnerability test with flying colors. I mean, it's an absolute fortress. But what happens when an impenetrable, perfectly secure app is actively deceiving the very people using it? Because while the app is completely locked down from hackers, it might still be creating a massive consumer liability.
Think about actual, real-world design choices that are happening right now. Add-on writers that are pre-selected by default. Cancellation options buried so deep in the menus that literally no one can find them. Consent checkboxes that are automatically ticked for you. And pricing that magically balloons right at the final checkout stage. So yes, your app is a secure vault, perfectly safe from a data breach, but your customer, they certainly aren't safe from the app itself. You've built a digital fortress for sure, but the customer journey inside it is fundamentally misleading.
Moving on to Section 2, demystifying the cybersecurity circular.
Let's separate these two concepts completely, starting with the technical side. The IRDAI Cybersecurity Circular has a singular focus, and that is guarding the vault of your digital operations. It focuses on protecting the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information systems used by insurers. So the primary objective here is pure cyber resilience. We're talking about protecting systems, applications, and customer data from external technical threats.
Under the circular, we're looking at really concrete technical controls, things like vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, or VAPT, API and cloud security, third-party risk management, and incident response planning. Now, this is the absolute domain of your Chief Information Security Officers and your IT teams. They handle these specific controls to prevent devastating events, data breaches, ransomware attacks, and operational downtime. Fundamentally, it's all about keeping the bad guys out.
That brings us to Section 3, understanding dark pattern compliance.
Now, let's pivot to the complete opposite side of the coin. This regulation, it's entirely about human psychology. The IRDAI Dark Pattern Circular focuses on protecting consumers from deceptive or manipulative digital design practices. Unlike the cybersecurity rules that, look at code and networks, this regulation ensures transparent, ethical, and genuinely customer-friendly digital experiences. It's not about the hacker anymore. It's about the customer's decision-making process. The focus areas here are completely different from IT security. We're analyzing online policy purchase journeys, how consent is actually collected, whether pricing is fully transparent, and if cancellation workflows are actually easy to navigate across your mobile apps and customer portals. And honestly, here's the kicker. This isn't an IT issue at all. This is the domain of product managers, UX designers, and marketing teams. Their goal is to strengthen customer trust and brand reputation, rather than just building up technical defenses.
All right, Section 4, why insurers need both.
Treating these two very different disciplines as a single, combined compliance checklist creates a massive vulnerability. Just think about the contrast here. Cyber primary risk is about fending off cyber attacks, whereas dark pattern risk is about preventing misleading journeys. Cyber focus is strictly on systems. Dark pattern focus is entirely on UX. An insurer can have a highly secure infrastructure, right? But they can still completely lose market confidence because of a confusing, manipulative digital experience. On the flip side, a beautifully transparent customer journey absolutely cannot compensate for weak cybersecurity controls that leak customer data. You absolutely need both of these working in tandem to build genuine digital trust.
And finally, Section 5, 5 steps to compliance.
So how do we actually execute this in the real world? First, assess your cybersecurity posture. Run independent VAP tests to find any cracks in your armor. Second, review those customer journeys with thorough UX audits to spot any manipulation in the purchase flow. Third, evaluate third-party platforms. Because look, if your payment vendor uses dark patterns or has weak security, that liability falls entirely on you. Fourth, and this is perhaps the hardest step, strengthen governance by actually forcing your security, UX, and legal teams out of their silos so they can collaborate. And finally, monitor continuously. Compliance isn't just an annual project, it's an ongoing operation because digital threats and user designs are constantly evolving.
Before you go ahead and declare your digital channels fully compliant, I want you to run through a quick self-assessment. Ask yourself these rapid-fire questions, starting with your technical defense.
Can your IT and security teams confidently answer yes to all of these security benchmarks? Has an independent VAPT been conducted? Are your APIs regularly tested? Is your cloud infrastructure continuously assessed? Is incident response tested? And are third-party vendors properly reviewed? That right there is your digital armor.
But then, I want you to immediately pivot to your design and product teams. Do your customer journeys meet every single one of these ethical UX standards? Are pricing disclosures transparent right from step one? Are add-ons truly optional and not secretly pre-checked? Is consent freely obtained? Can customers easily cancel services without jumping through a million hoops? And are your marketing communications crystal clear?
Okay, here is the harsh reality check. If any answer is no, your compliance journey is incomplete. If you have a single no on either of those previous two lists, your organization is still highly exposed. A no on the cyber side means you're wide open to data breaches. A no on the UX side means you are open to regulatory action for deceptive practices, not to mention severe reputational damage. Your compliance journey is simply incomplete if both sides aren't completely airtight.
I really want to leave you with this final, vital thought. Digital trust is no longer built through cybersecurity alone. It requires technical resilience completely married with ethical digital design. So I'll ask you, are you relying solely on your code to build trust, or are your design choices actually protecting your customers too? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this helps you build a safer, much more transparent digital experience.